B&B Entertainment here, and today I'm doing Halloween H2O talk because, like I said, the previous one, doing this one, this is the last one I'm doing of this franchise. Uh, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this real quick. This movie takes place after the events of the first and second original Halloween movies, 20 years later. That's why it's called H2O. Retconning the Thorn slash Jamie storyline. Thank God. So now it's a sequel to the first two, hence why Jamie Lee Curtis returned, and she is the heart and soul of Halloween, as is Michael. It starts off by Nurse Marion Chambers, the one who told Loomis about Michael and Laura being siblings in the second one. She rides home to find her power out with outside light broke, glass everywhere. She went to the room of Dr. Loomis where he stayed until he passed it. She took care of him, sort of a retirement home in a way. Fun fact, Tom Kane voiced Dr. Loomis in this, and he also played Loomis in the new Halloween Kills movie. I had no idea until this vid. I learned something new every day. Only for him to go next door to find Jimmy, which was played by a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Him and his friend go with Marion to check it out, find no one inside, only Loomis' office messed up. Files on the floor everywhere except Laurie Strode's file. It's empty. Then they go home. She goes inside, then Michael tries to scare her, which he does by her seeing her back door open and a shadowy figure on the ground. She runs next door to Jimmy's, only to find him dead. Opened the back door, there was his friend with Michael behind him. She tries to escape as cops enter her home next door, only for Mike to kill her and escape in Jimmy's car with Laurie's file. Now we are taken to Summer Glen, California, where we meet up with Carrie Tate, or should I say Laurie. She had faked her death under a new name and is a headmistress at Hillcrest Academy at a private boarding school surrounded by a fence system with a security guard at the gate, played by LL Cool J, and is dating the guidance counselor Will, played by Adam Arkin. Which this is her security guard, LL Cool J, as you all know. Oh, and not to mention in this movie, she has a son, John Tate, played by Josh Hartnett. Living in fear, she is still haunted by the 1978 events, thinking Michael will return for her one day. Then we cue to a rest stop where this mother and daughter have to use the bathroom, only for Mike to sneak in and take the mom's purse for her keys, steals her keys, and leaves them stranded as his car's tires have been burned down to the rim. He heads to the school where she works as the students prepare for a field trip to the Yosemite. John, his girlfriend Molly, and their two friends Charlie and Sarah all stay behind secretly to have a party of their own in the basement of the school. Meanwhile, Michael shows up at the gate with the car running and no one in it. Ronnie goes to check it, and Mike sneaks behind him and sneaks in the school grounds. Now the face-off is set. They just had to come face to face, which does take place. Pick below. Michael's point of, or Laurie's point of view, and Michael's point of view. Iconic scene. Later that night, Laurie tells Will her true identity and what happened and why she faked her death. Then she sees her birthday card she gave her son said 17 on it, which was the age of her when it happened. Being skeptical, she grabs a gun and goes and finds John's bags packed, but realizes they didn't go on the field trip. So only the kids, Laurie, Will, Ronnie, and Michael, are the only ones on the premises at the time. Charlie and Sarah go out to find some supplies, only to encounter Michael, and both get killed. Then John and Molly go search for them to run into Mike, just standing there looking at them. John realizing his mother was right. There he is, right there, and there they are. He is still alive. Mike goes on a chase until they find Laurie and Will. Then the iconic scene, which was the face-off. For 20 years, they finally come face to face, as I mentioned above in the pic above. As Laurie reaches for her gun, uh, looks back up and Mike is gone. They then hide the kid in the closet. Will asking, "Who was that?" Her reply, "My brother." Then a shadowy figure comes around the corner. Will grabs her gun, shoots, and they go to see, thinking it was Mike. It was actually Ronnie, the security guard. Then Michael comes up behind Will and kills him. Then we get the real chase scene of the movie. Going through the school, Laurie hides and then gets away, only to go get John and Molly and tells them to run. They get to the car, go down the road, and tells them to go and don't look back. She stays and smashes the gate so it won't open, goes, grabs the axe, and goes back towards the school, realizing she's going to have to fight or he will keep coming after her until one of them are dead. She says my favorite line in the movie. She yells, "Michael, like I'm coming for your ass." When she goes into school, they had their final encounter in the school. She fights and fights, knocking him over a balcony until he's unconscious, as you see in these pictures. She goes to finish the job, only for Ronnie, who's alive, to stop her. Then the ambulance load him in the coroner's van with her axe, and her taking someone's gun, she gets in the van and goes down the road knowing he's allowed to finish him off for good. He tries to attack her, only for her to slam brakes. He goes out the window, then she hits him with the van, and they go off a small hill. She flies out the window, as does the axe, and Michael hits a tree. Uh, and looking up to see the van rolling his way for it to pin him against the tree. He has nowhere to go. She grabs the axe and says, Michael. He looks, reaches out for her. She almost touches his hand. Then out of nowhere, boom, she chops his head off. Cue the theme music, and it goes off. Now that is how you end it. Great ending, as you see right here. It's how it should have been ended. Whole time. This movie grossed 75 million worldwide on a budget of 17 million. Received mixed reviews, with people saying it was the best sequel in the series at the time of its release. Michelle Williams played Molly, which is right here. Janet Leigh, the real-life mother of Jamie Lee Curtis, played in cameo role as Norma Watson. She was the young lady in Psycho, and her only scene with Laurie, they were playing a little snippet of the Psycho theme. Which here she was in Psycho, and there she is in Halloween H2O. Chris Duran played Michael Myers in this one. I know they switch actors a lot, but I found him to be one of my favorite Michaels, and this to be one of my favorite Halloweens, so that's a plus. And here he is. The original title for this movie was called Halloween 7, The Revenge of Laurie Strode. I don't think I would have been alright with that, but the way the movie played out, it would have been a decent title because of what it said. Uh, a student was doing a report in the original scene, one of the original scenes in this, Michael's killing spree, mentioning Jamie's death. Laurie's reaction goes to the bathroom and throws up. Kevin Williamson came up with the idea of the paramedic scene for Resurrection to keep Mike alive, which was filmed day after principal photography ended, and later utilized it in Resurrection. Resurrection, what I ain't gonna do because I'm not wasting my time on it because they killed Jamie Lee Curtis off in the first fucking 20 minutes or less, and I didn't like this, so we're not gonna do that one. We're just gonna talk about it right here. And the paramedic scene was kind of weird because, first of all, if you're going to do a paramedic scene, how in the hell will he survive that van rolling on him and, be a different person? If it was Michael, that's really reasonable. But we'll get into that. I'm not even going to get into that, actually. Alright, writers of Halloween H2O were left with the dilemma when Curtis wanted to end the series, but Mustafa Akkad had a clause that legally wouldn't allow writers to kill Mike off. I did not know that until I'd done this video. That explains a lot. According to Blu-ray released by Scream Factory, Curtis almost left the project just weeks before filming until Kevin came up with the paramedic idea and presented it to Akkad. Curtis finally agreed to be part of it under condition that no footage ending in a sequel and the audience to believe he was really dead until the sequel Resurrection was released. Now, out of 5 stars rating, as you all know, this one's a little different. The mask, there has been multiple masks in this movie. That was the most annoying thing about this movie, was the different mask. Now, the first on top left, they used the Halloween 6 mask in the very beginning of this movie, which they should have kept it throughout the whole thing. I don't know why they did, because it actually looks good. So I'm going to rate all 4 of these masks. I'm going to give that one a 5. Then, I'm going to do the top right, where he's looking at I would have to give that a 3, because it kind of gives that resemblance of the Thor, movie, whatever. Now, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking on this. The bottom left was a CGI mask. I forgot why they used that. I don't think they had the mask or something that day they had to shoot, so they just CGI'd it. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to give that a fucking 0. Don't no. Just we're not gonna get into that. Alright, the bottom right, same scene but different mask. I think they did like different shoots or something. I don't know. But the bottom right is the one I remember the most in that scene. And that's the mask that I think they used the most in this movie. So with that being said, I'd have to give it a 4 because I actually thought it was a decent mask. And when people saying you can see his eyes, yes, I know that you don't want to see his eyes because the black, like the first top left. But the way that Chris Duran played Michael in this, the way his face, moved in it, it looks menacing. So I thought it was perfect. All right, the plot. I really thought the plot was good. I thought that her faking her death to bring her back was good. A different school area was cool. Just the way the whole thing went. I'm gonna give it a 5. Now the actors, there's multiple actors in this. Josh Hartnett did an amazing job. Laurie Strode, always does a great job. She sold it for me. Chris Duran did an amazing job as Michael. I would have to give it a 5 because almost every actor in this did an amazing job. Now the rate of this movie out of a 5, I would have to give it. I'm gonna give it a 4 because it might be one of my favorites, but With it having the mask situation, I would have to get a 4 because of that. If they would have picked one mask, if they'd have picked the top left or the bottom right mask for the whole movie, it'd been fine. But can't. Now the cover of this movie. This summer, Tara won't be taking a vacation. I like that. H20, Jamie Lee Curtis front and center. The mask on the left, a little bit of it. You got Josh Hartnett on top, LL Cool J. You got Jodie Lynn Keefe, I believe her name is. That's Sarah, which is Charlie's girlfriend. And you got Molly, Michelle Williams. I don't know why they put Sarah in this, or Ella. I don't think they really needed to put any other character on there besides Lori and Michael. But I would have to rate this as a 3 because there's some covers that are better than this one. But now the scary element, this movie to me was not really that scary. It did have some moments when it was. I thought it was more fun. You know what I mean? So with it being fun and actiony, I would have to give it a 4 at least because of that reason. But other than that, as you all know, we're gonna do our video thing that we talk about, like the scary part and all that. Oh, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, when she yells Michael. Maybe I should have. Yeah, I put that backwards. Sorry, guys. It might not show it. Alright, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and show you my the most freakiest scene to me that I thought was, and then I'm gonna show you those. Alright, so here we go. This was my scary element of the movie that I thought was freaky. Just imagine that you're in a bathroom. Like, this right here is what got me freaked out. It's like he knew that she was watching. So I mean, that right there had me freaked out when I watched it. Alright, now my most favorite line in the movie is right here. Because she knows that she's gonna have to fight. If not, he's just gonna keep coming. Iconic. Crazy, man. This right here also freaked me out. Yeah, right here is dope. Cool scene, man. Alright. Now, also, the way you end this franchise right here in front of you guys. This is how you do it. This is how it should have been. 1998 should have been the last Halloween movie, in my opinion. But the new ones are good. But this should have been it right here. Hold on, girl. You got a minute. Hold on.
Michael. Michael. Michael.
with the eyes, man. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. That's how you end it. Tough. She's like, finally it's over. Yeah. Finally it's over, guys. That's how she thought right there. But then they brought Resurrection out. I'm like, come on. The way they explained that, I thought it was kind of cheap. Because paramedic comes in there and tries to find Michael's body. So then he crushes his larynx, he switches clothes, blah, blah, blah. But then paramedic's not going to do all the things that Michael does. Why would he sit up straight when she throws him out of the window? How would he even survive that? How's he going to survive the van crushing him between the tree? You know, all that crap. I mean, I understand it's a decent cop out, but it doesn't work if you go back and look at all that. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm just gonna say this is like my top, at least top 5 Halloween movies. I'm in my top 3, honestly. But anyway, I'm ending the video on that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Y'all have a happy Halloween, by the way. Speaking of Halloween, much love. Always stay humble. Remember that. Y'all have a blessed night.